Hello everybody, it's Paul Neeson with the Raw Life Health Show. So here's the story. You know, I promote a vegetarian diet, a vegan diet, a raw food vegan diet, but I'm also open to the idea if some people don't want to give up eating meat, that's their personal choice. There's a healthy way to eat meat and an unhealthy way to eat meat. Me as a vegan and a vegetarian, I think a healthier way to live and eat is to eat fruits and vegetables and a raw food diet. However, I acknowledge that there are people that think different, believe different, and I value everybody making their own personal choice and following their own personal walk. But I did a video which became one of my most popular videos, was with a doctor who was actually on a vegan diet himself, mostly a raw vegan diet. And he said in the video that he had a dream and his wife made him some meat and he ate the meat. And it appeared that he was saying that his wife corrupted him to eat meat.
I did the raw vegan diet, a vegan diet for about 15 years. Lots of that was, in the beginning it was all raw, and then it was mixed in with some cooked foods, but it was vegan, strictly vegan. As I used to say, I don't eat anything with parents or anything that had a face. And that was for 15 years. And then there's some shifting happened after I met my wife. And my wife looked at me and she said, I know you don't eat meat, but I just want you to try the lamb chops. To tell you the truth, she had tried on other occasions. And I just was like, no. And I took one bite of the lamb chop. And I have to tell you, I really liked it. Interestingly enough, a lot of people transition out of their vegan diet and add animal foods because they have some kind of health problems. Some people just do better with some animal foods added into their diet. I've seen that as a physician for over 20 years. And that wasn't my case. I was actually completely healthy, felt great, had no symptoms, no diseases at all.
Well, I had many comments from this video, and by no means did this man, it wasn't his wife that made him change. He has a very interesting story, and since we had so many comments on the video, I am going to play a video I just made. I just interviewed this man, this doctor, and his wife to kind of give you more of a background on what happened. And I named this the breaking down of a vegan because this is one of the ways a man went from being a vegan to eating meat. I'm not saying it's good or bad, right or wrong. I'm just saying this is what happened. And this is just one of the many stories. And was his wife responsible for this? Well, here's the story and you tell me what you think. You know what? I don't want to know what you think. It doesn't matter. But, there's been a lot of comments about this. So put your comments and questions below the video and, keep them nice and they'll stay up there. Enjoy the video right now. Here we go.
You want the story? Here's the story.
There was an ad in the airplane and it had a piece of meat on a plate. And I said, I think I'd rather eat that than anything. And if you would have told me that years ago when I was a vegan, I said, no way. My wife wanted me to try it.
According to Jeff said that he didn't eat meat, he just ate fish, and then one day you made him a special meal with meat.
It's life, It's the truth.
Jeff grew up Italian and ate meatloaf and all that good yummy stuff, then got into the natural hygiene world, and decided he was going to eat raw for many years. This is before I knew him. He said he had like baskets of bananas in his room. Before his feet ever touched the ground, he ate like 5 bananas every morning, that kind of lifestyle. So then he was vegan as well.
Oh, he was a vegan? This is Jeff's wife.
I'm from a big Italian family as well, and I was never vegan or vegetarian. I preferred not to eat animal proteins, and I preferred not to eat dairy because I don't do that well with it. But I never was like, oh, I'll never eat it, because I believe there's celebration food and there's lifestyle food. So my celebration foods would be if I went to grandma's and she made the homemade ravioli, I ate the ravioli. But it wasn't a lifestyle, a celebration. So here's Jeff, comes into my family, and Grandma Angelina, he introduces himself because he's asking my dad if he can marry me, the whole thing. And she said, you coming down and making you the ravioli, the homemade ravioli.
I was on the trip to ask my father-in-law, my future father-in-law, to, if I can marry his daughter. And his mother, Grandma Angelina, is making me ravioli. And so on this very same trip that I'm going to say, hey, Tony, can I marry your daughter? What am I going to do, not eat ravioli?
The matriarch of the family is going to make the ravioli. You eat the ravioli. You didn't insult the matriarch of the family. Why'd you sell your birthright for the ravioli?
I didn't. I wanted to marry this woman. And Grandma was the mother of the guy, the man
dilemma.
I was going to ask. And you know, she wanted to make me the ravioli. This was an honor, the ravioli.
And was freaking out because he was vegan. Well, he was pretty happy to eat the ravioli.
But I can tell you this, I ate the ravioli and I liked the ravioli, the ravioli, the ravioli.
In fact, he had seconds and thirds. So that was the beginning of the breaking the vegan. He had the dairy.
You were a vegan, and then you started eating meat because you had a dream, right?
No, I started eating fish because I had a dream.
So he got a check in his spirit. He said, I think God's saying that he's calling me to a 10-day fast in the mountains. I'm like, okay. God told him exactly what to bring, like this many apples, this many gallons of water, get in the car, go to Tennessee. So he goes.
I was on the 6th day of a fast in the mountains in Tennessee.
While he's there, nothing to do with me or grandma, he has a dream.
And I had a dream about this piece of fish.
And he comes back just with this knowing that he's going to eat fish. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to eat fish. And I never cooked fish. I didn't buy fish. I pretty much ate vegetarian. And he goes, you know, take me, let's go eat fish. I was like, okay, because every once in a while in a restaurant I loved having fish. So it was nice that we could have fish together once in a while. So he has the fish. Now he has fish in the diet. So now we're up to dairy and we're up to fish.
And when did you start eating meat?
I started eating meat about a few years after that.
Then we get into the Feast of the Lord. And for Passover, he wants to have a bite of lamb. So he had his token bite of lamb for Passover maybe 2 or 3 years in a row. So probably the only meat I ever ate during the year was lamb that my grandma made like once a year. And really that was the extent of the meat I ever ate, was her lamb. Except for Passover. So now I had lamb twice a year. And now he is taking a bite of lamb once a year.
I didn't like it.
So for his birthday, I said, well, you know, maybe he'll want to eat lamb and not just have one token bite, and he'll enjoy the lamb for Passover and not just be one bite. So I had my friend make chili and sea bass, and that was the main course because he was eating fish, but make a few lamb chops on the side, you know, if he wanted to go past the one bite of the Passover lamb.
Came home and my good friend Chef Jerry answered the door with a glass of wine. Can I say that on your video? A glass
Go ahead.
of wine. And he handed it to me and he said, your wife's on the, it was our anniversary.
So what was that?
It was our anniversary of our wedding. 3rd or 4th.
So why would he make you meat if
and
you
he
didn't
made
eat?
lamb.
Why would he do that though?
My wife wanted me to try it.
And he loved it.
And by the way, those years leading up to it, of the bite of lamb on Passover, I didn't like the lamb. I didn't like the taste of it because it wasn't a lamb chop.
But you like the ravioli.
It wasn't a lamb chop.
Oh,
But you like the ravioli.
When Chef Jerry made the marinated lamb chops that night, that was a different story.
What do you like better, lamb or ravioli?
Oh, lamb.
Okay. Would you eat a ravioli if it had unclean meat in it? If somebody told you to?
No.
And so that's what happened, and that's why he started eating meat. Now, chicken and beef, that's all on his own. So I don't know if you want to say that's all my corruption. That's what's happening.
I'm saying, did you leave a vegan diet because this situation with your wife's family, or did you leave a vegan diet because you started to...
I had, prior to the conversation with Grandma Angelina about the ravioli,
The homemade ravioli.
it had never crossed my mind in 13 years of being a vegan to eat anything other than fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds.
I ate the ravioli. The matriarch of the family is going to make the ravioli.
Did you really think if you didn't eat the ravioli, it would have caused an issue?
No, but I think it would have been rude. It would have been rude.
What do you think if it was unclean meat? I mean, would it have been any different, or it was just a meat thing? I mean, if he had a dream about eating unclean meat, would
Am I on trial here? The relationship is more important than the food. It's about a healthy, happy wife.
No, okay. In ending the video, what would your reply be to vegans that say it's ridiculous that you would get off your vegan diet for this reason you did? What would your defense be?
I would say to a vegan, number one, if God permits you to eat it, for you to say you can't eat it is creating a God in your own image. So you can't be a vegan and say there's some kind of moral issue around it or there's some kind of commandment around it, because there isn't.
Anything else you want to say before we end and talk about the next topic?
Yes. All of the vegans that might watch this that were offended,
I'm from New York.
I'm sorry. I hope that you
That's
can
not true.
not be offended, but it's not a religion. veganism is not a religion.
Shouldn't be.
And if you're not a believer and you're a vegan, probably why you don't want to be a believer is because you don't like believers who are religious. So I wouldn't be religious when it comes to being a vegan. Now, if you want to stand for something that you believe in health, but to be offended because I took the chance to serve my husband a lamb chop for after he had already eaten it for Passover a couple of years. I mean, really, So have a nice life. And if you want to check out what we teach, you can check us out. So
What's your show, your website? People could check you out.
Biblicalhealth.tv. Biblicalhealth.tv.
Okay. Thank you very much.
That's biblical.
Thank you. Okay.
The ravioli.
All right, everybody, there it was. So put your comments and questions below the video. Until then, everybody, thanks for checking it out. Have a great day and a great raw life. And stay away from the ravioli.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.